everybody. It's the day after Christmas, and I wanted to come say hi, see how you were doing, and share some thoughts with you on my Christmas, what happened, and some other thoughts that I told you I would share with you about my disaster. So first, on Christmas, I know some of you probably spent it alone. Some of you were with family. I was with family. Half the household was sick. There was 6 kids. There was 8 of them in there, and half of them were sick. I chose to go anyway. I'm on a lot of supplements and things and nutrition to take care of my health, and so I'm praying that I stay healthy and that I avoid whatever they had. So we'll see. And I will tell you that yesterday I came home. I spent the night there the night before. I always do on Christmas Eve. The kids expect to wake up and see me asleep on the couch, so I love that. And so then after presents and breakfast and everything, about noon, I came home. I only live like 6 or 8 blocks from them, and so I came home. I showered, changed clothes, put some makeup on, and I went back and I stayed for dinner. And then I left right after dinner because there was no sense in inviting trouble, so I left after that point. I had a great time. But there was a twinge, and I can't share this with a lot of people, but I can share it with you guys. And I just wanted to tell you that when I came home at noon, I had brought the gifts and things that they had gotten, and my box and empty bags and things like that I was bringing back home. And when I pulled in the driveway and I got the stuff out of the car, I had this little twinge. And it's been 3 years. And I really missed Gar. You know, either being in the house, opening the door for me, or coming home with me, whatever the case may be. I just had that moment where I missed him. And I guess I'm telling you that to tell you that they can always show up. You know, I went to a group meeting one time, and this lady said, well, it's been 20 years. He passed very early in their marriage, and she said, I still have times. So I don't know about that because I'm only 3 years in, and I think we're all different. But I did pretty good for the whole holiday. I just had that one twinge, and I didn't cry, but I sure missed him. And I think we always will, even if we're in other relationships. Whatever might come up, I think that we'll always miss them. There's a lot of history, and you want that history. So that being said, on history, about a year before Gar passed, I was at a meeting in, I don't know, somewhere for business. And I asked the family to check on Gar. It was about a year before he passed. He was still doing okay, but he had some challenges. He just had to be checked on. And so my 2 oldest granddaughters, the only one that was driving was the oldest one. And so they came over and they checked on him this one night, spent some time with him. They always made him laugh, and they had fun with him. And so I stumbled on that picture. And so I had copies made of it, and I put it in a little frame. And I gave it to the 2 oldest girls. I said I wasn't going to keep giving them pictures, but I stumbled on that one, and I just had to share it with them. So hopefully they will enjoy it and keep it out. I put it in a frame so they can't lose the picture. But I do have it with me because I had an extra copy made, and I just thought I'd share it with you. And this was them taking a picture with him and our dog Molly. Isn't that precious? So I had to share that with them. So I put it in a frame, and I gave them that as a present. And I think they liked it. And let's see, I guess 3 years ago, the first year Gar passed, Riley, my oldest granddaughter, gave me this. And there's, I've talked about this bracelet on another video for my first Christmas or something. And I don't remember all the details on it, but it's an awesome bracelet, and I really like it. And it's pink, and it goes with the watch, so I like it. And this year, my youngest granddaughter, Brooklyn, was into making bracelets. And she made me this one. And so I have it as well. So I have both bracelets from interestingly, from my youngest and my oldest and my youngest. And when they were born with really dark brown hair. And all of the four in between, each one got lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And they're all now like a dishwater blonde, you know, darker, kind of a medium blonde maybe. I mean brown, light to medium brown. And but the two end ones, the youngest and the oldest, they came out really dark and stayed that way. So I call them my bookends in the children. And so interestingly, this is from both of my bookends. For that. And I have to tell you another present I got. My oldest granddaughter had not purchased any gifts for Christmas for anybody, and she went out the last day to purchase some, running in and out of stores, and I don't know how much thought went into it, but she did pretty good on almost every present. One present, she couldn't find anything, and so she bought a shirt for her sister that was way too small. And she said, well, I had to get something. Well, that was kind of lost the flavor in that one. But I don't know if you guys have Lululemon clothing in your area. If you're in California, you do. Otherwise, I don't know where it's located. But they've been wearing Lululemon. They've got tights and tops, and my daughter's got a jacket and different things. And I've always envied them on them. They look so awesome. But they're very expensive. And so I never even expressed an interest because I didn't want them to think about spending the money on me for something like that. And I wasn't going to spend it for myself, the other things I needed. So for Christmas, Riley, my new 20-year-old, I'm still wrapping my head around that one, she gave me a pair of Lululemon tights. And I told you I'd lost my weight, and so it felt really good to put those on, and they're awesome and I love them, but they were very expensive, and I told her I would accept those. It was a Christmas gift that she went out and got, but please don't spend that kind of money on me again. I mean, she's a young girl, she's 20 years old. Hang on to your money, invest your money, do something. Because in other years, she bought me this bracelet, which I obviously still love because I'm wearing it. She bought me an adorable pair of socks last year that said, but first, coffee. Coffee pot behind me. And so, I don't know, it's just kind of fun and sweet, and I love the leggings, and they look awesome on me. I'll model them for you sometime. And it was really fun to get a really small pair. They're Lululemon. I think they run a little different in their sizing, but she got me a size 4 and they fit. Now I wear a size 6 in the Stitch Fix pants. I wear a size small in most other tights. The Lululemon size 4. That was so fun. Anyway, their mom and dad got me a new iPhone, which I'm coming to you on. So remember, my videos were a problem before because of the not being able to produce them right because I had the old iPhone, and so I have a new iPhone now. So I feel very blessed indeed. So that was my Christmas, and a little bit of story about that. I wanted, and I don't know how your Christmas was. Share below whether it was good, bad, happy, sad, glad. It looks like I have a little shadow on my face. I'm trying to work with the lighting because I'm still in the kitchen. And I don't know how to do the lighting. My girlfriend set it up for me, so this is interesting. Anyway, I'm chatting and it's 9 minutes in already. So I hope you got through Christmas. I wanted to kind of make this a little more uplifting a little bit, but I also wanted to talk about my disaster that I had and a little bit about the concept of disasters in different forms. So let's talk about the concept of disasters. It seems to be from many people, many widows that I've talked to, that somewhere in the first year, they could have 1, 2, 3, 4 different disasters that could be catastrophic, from small to huge. And I think it kind of goes with the territory. And I guess I'm kind of saying that because if you haven't had a disaster yet, you're lucky. If you have, it seems to be normal. So it's the way it goes. And I don't know why it happens when we're alone. Lord, please let us know that. Why does it happen when we're alone and we're already not feeling the best about everything, and then we have to make decisions that we're not used to making alone? And I think that's part of it. Maybe it's helping us to grow up a little bit in that part of it, and so that we can begin to realize and learn that we have to make decisions on our own. It comes with the territory, even the big ones and the little ones. I have a friend that had 3 disasters within the first year and a half of her husband's passing. One was that she had a 90-some% blockage in the main artery in her heart, and it's called the Widowmaker, which means that when that one goes out, it's out that fast, and there's no coming back from it. It's just that fast. And so she had to decide whether to have surgery on that or not. And she did a lot of prayer and got a lot of help on that before she decided whether to do it or not. It was a hard decision. So she decided to go ahead with it. So she got that done. She had her recovery on that. She had a major roof leak in her bedroom where part of the ceiling literally fell through. She had a lot of termites that showed up that did a lot of wood damage, and she had to work on that. And I guess there's 4, because then she also was riding her bike around the neighborhood, and so she thought the bike was on the porch. Now, mind you, she's 83 or 4 at that time. And so she decided, but she's in good shape. She's in good health. And she's been on my nutrition with me for a lot of years, and so she's in really good shape. And so she decides she's going to take this bike off of the porch down the steps and ride it around the neighborhood. And so she got it down, bump, 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 each step. And when she hit the last step, we've got a little curb that lifts up on our property along the whole way. And so she got it down every step and she made it. And then the bike, the front wheel hit that curb, which has got a little roll to it. And when it did, it rolled out and she lost control of the bike. And she went flying. She went one way, the bike went another. She did a face plant on our street and just absolutely destroyed her, not permanently, but it really took a long time for her face to heal from all the scraping and stuff, but it healed. She did have a broken nose and there's a little bit there, but otherwise she's okay. She had one more disaster. Lord help her. She'd gone to a friend's celebrating a birthday, and she was in their house and she didn't see a step because it was one of those where it's the same color. Don't do that. Make your steps different colors. They're not safe. And so she didn't see the step and she walked right off of it and fell and broke her elbow. In between all of those, she had a lot to do. She had to rely on other people and she had to make a lot of decisions. They'd been married 60 some years, and so she was not used to making decisions by herself. So it happens. And And so I don't know if you've had any major things happen to you. If you have, since you've lost your spouse, comment down below. Let us know what happened to you and how you worked through it. I'm still working through mine, so I'd love to hear how you worked through it. I'll tell you what happened to me. I was sitting in my house, and I had a friend over, and we were on our phones doing things, and they were watching one of these reels that come up, and I really hate those things because they're just, they hook you in, and there's no end to them. They just keep you going and going, and I'm like, now I get them. I catch it, and I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm over it, and I just stop it. But they were still going with it, and then I started hearing this noise in the background, and I thought, why are they still listening to that reel? It's getting really staticky. What is it? What's going on? It was getting louder and louder, and I couldn't figure it out. And I have, Gar's desk was just over past where I sit in my chair area, and I have his ashes there. And some of you may think this is ridiculous, but I don't know, in the moment. So all of a sudden, that static, which I thought was in the reel, just exploded. And I heard this horrific noise. I had no idea what it was, but I knew it was coming from the area around where Gar's little desk and his ashes and everything are. I jumped up and I went running over to the desk, and I'm tapping on his box where his ashes are, and I'm like, Gar, are you talking to me? What's wrong, Gar? Are you talking to me? Don't laugh too hard at me. I don't know why I did that. Part of the process, I guess. Want to cry. So the person that was here with me went running in the bathroom, which was on the other side, and they opened the shower door, and they said they really expected to see the shower on, thinking about Gar and talking to me and the whole thing. They really expected. So we opened the door, and the shower was not on. I ran in and looked. Shower was not on, but this horrific noise was still there. So they went running outside. I'm still standing in there dumbfounded, not knowing what's going on. And they went running outside, and they went across the street. There's a maintenance man that lives right across the street. And they said, you know, I think Connie's got a problem. Can you come check it out? And he's a really nice guy, but he's got one speed. And so he's like, well, I'm kind of hanging lights right now. And so he said, well, I think this is an emergency. I think there's a water leak or something. Okay, I'll check it out. So he gets down off the ladder, and he comes sauntering over one step at a time. He's tall, and he's kind of lobbering over, you know. And he comes over, and the back door's open, and he's like, yep, sounds like a water leak. And he keeps right on walking. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why aren't you running in and finding out what's going on? So he walked back to the end of my mobile home where the water meter is, and he said, well, we'll take a look at this water meter, and if it's spitting like crazy, it's your problem, and if it's not, it's my problem. So he lifts up, the water's still running. He lifts up the little thing uncovering the meter, and he said, yep, that thing's spinning like a son of a gun. It's your problem. I guess we better turn the water off. So he turned the water off. And he left. He was done. There was nothing else he could do. So my oldest daughter's husband does a lot of work in their house, and he's done some things in mine and different things. And so he came over, and he crawled underneath my couch, and he crawled back out, and he said, well, the good news is it's not leaking down below. And I said, why is that good news? And he said, well, it means it's above ground. And I said, so what? It's still a water leak, and there's still a problem. So he decided it was in the wall, and so they left the water off for 24 hours. Him and a buddy came back the next day. Remember my spare bedroom? You've seen me do videos in there, that cute little pink bedroom? It is no more. So he had to go in there, and he cut one of the panels off that backs up to the shower. And sure enough, there was a pipe in there that was broken. So he fixed the leak. He fixed the pipe and turned the water back on so I could function in my house. And then we called the insurance company, and they came out right away, and they brought a ServPro representative out, and they looked at it, and they said, yeah, I can see they fixed it, good thing, and yes, you've got water damage. We're going to have to take all the damage out, put these industrial fans, living with 6 industrial fans, very loud. So for 3.5 days. So they, let's see. So they came out the next morning and did all of that. And they were here for 2 days, tore out my shower, tore out walls, tore out flooring. And I had cherry wood flooring in probably at least half of my mobile home, besides the new flooring I had in the spare bedroom. And so because it leaked into the spare bedroom and under Gar's desk out into my cherry wood floor, they had to remove Gar's desk and about this much of the wood in front of Gar's desk, which means all of the wood has to be replaced. Well, it's 18 years old and I have a couple of damaged areas on it. So thank you, Lord, I get a new floor. But I'm living now without having, I realize it's the holidays, but I haven't heard from the insurance people. ServPro was here and they did their job. They got everything dry, got rid of any mold problems that might have produced themselves. But now I have open walls. It's terrible. I did a short video of it. If I can splice the two together, I'll put it at the end and show you what it looks like. Just so you can see, it's really a disaster. So it's kind of hard because now everything that was in that spare bedroom and bathroom is everywhere else in my house. I've got mattresses, I've got the frame that held the mattresses, I've got all the decorations, I've got the chairs and the little stools, and everything is out of there. And now I have to go pick out flooring again, and now I have to do it for the whole house. And so I don't know what color to go. So I've got that decision to make. So there's lots going on. I did have a meltdown. Before we called the insurance company, my youngest daughter was here with her husband, and we were talking about the problems and calling the insurance and so on. And I don't remember the conversation, but I remember having the meltdown, and I started crying, and I said, you know, I just feel all alone. And I hate having to make these decisions by myself, and it's really hard, and I'm grateful for having you guys, and it really helps to make the decisions, but I miss Dad, you know, and it's just hard. And my daughter, who loved her dad to pieces, she was the baby, and she really had a great relationship with him. And she was so sweet, and she said, Mom, even if Dad was here, he'd probably make the wrong decision. And I said, you're probably right, he probably would have, and I would have overridden him anyway. But it's just knowing they're there, and you've got somebody to bounce things off of, because your kids have got their own opinions, as good as they are. When you've lived with someone for 57 years, you can bounce things off of each other easier. So I missed that. I got over it. I had my one-day meltdown, and I'm okay. But now I'm living in this disaster. And I think I had another meltdown about 10 days later. And I thought it was over him, but I think it was everything. Part of it was missing him, and part of it was, which I realized later, because I'm like, why am I like this? Because it was just before Christmas, and I was just a basket case. Again, it was one day. And I just had to process and figure out what's going on. So I encourage you to process things. You know, I talked to someone and I said, make a list of pros and cons of whatever it is that's on your mind and see which one outweighs the other. And if the cons are outweighing it, ask why. You know, don't just settle for that. Ask why you're having these feelings. And so I kind of did that, but I kind of did it in my head. I didn't put it on paper. And what I figured out was everything's a mess in this house. And so nothing is as it's supposed to be. I had some sort of little bit of Christmas decorations, and what didn't get put up was all over the place in my living room. My daughter came in and brought 6 bins to put her kids' Christmas things in because they didn't have a place anymore to do that. So that was in my living room. And then all the stuff from my spare bedroom is in my living room, and it's in my family room, and it's in my bedroom. So it was a mess. And so I realized that it was just because my space was not settling. Everything was making me uneasy. And so I had to find a way to cope with that and to overcome it, because I couldn't fix it. I couldn't run away from it. I couldn't leave it. And it's not getting fixed in a day or two. It's going to take time. And I'm not saying I won't have another meltdown, but I got through that one. So when they come in and start tearing up this house and start tearing up my family room and everything, where is my little sanctuary right now, I don't know, we'll see. But right now, I got over that. So that was my disaster. That was my Christmas. Please share below if you have any disasters that you've had, how you got over them, or if you didn't get over them, if you need any help with getting over them. Thank you for joining my channel and for watching me and my videos. And I love coming to you and sharing my thoughts and your thoughts and sharing things that I learned from you guys as well. And so thank you for all of your thoughts and your shares and your input. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and click that little bell so you'll know when I'm doing another video. And if you haven't come on Facebook yet and found me on there, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for my last video that you did. So many of you came on and joined me on Facebook. And I love the chats that we've had, and I look forward to more and getting to know you guys better. So please come find me on Facebook as well as my channel here, all right? And so I want to say goodbye for today, and thanks for listening to me chatter about Christmas and my disaster and my friends' disasters, and there's been many others, but hers I had firsthand experience with, so I wanted to share that with you. And this was my first one, really, and it's been 3 years, so I've been very blessed, but it's kind of a big one, so we'll see. Anyway, God bless you guys. Have a great day. Have a great New Year's, and may I say this with deep conviction in my heart because of the disaster of the last 2 years. May 2022 bring you blessings, prosperity, happiness, and fullness of life. And please know, if nobody else tells you guys today, I love you. Have an awesome day. Bye for now. Okay, here's the results. What you see here is temporary floor in the spare bedroom. And so that's going to come out. The subfloor has to come out, and the insulation has to come out. And they're going to repaint the whole room. You can see that wall has been torn out, again in the spare bedroom. This is where Gar's desk was. It's totally gone. That's the shower under there, so that's totally gone. Here's the temporary floor just covering the subfloor on that one. You can see they took the wall out there. The cupboards are still there, but they will be coming down when the other crew comes in. I'm gonna take you into the bathroom, show you from a different view. This is the bathroom temporary floor. That floor will be coming out too. They'll replace the whole thing. This is where the shower was, and it's totally empty now. No shower. The wall back there is where Gar's desk was. This wall is into the spare bedroom. And here's another view of the spare bedroom leading out there. Oh, okay, one of those fell down. So that's my mess. That's it.